Kairi, welcome home. I'm your anime manga mom. This week, I've been struggling a little. I've been looking for a good anime to watch. I finished Tokyo Revengers. I really undersold the violent nature of the show. My husband was not a fan, even in Japanese. um, just because it was just so violent and yeah, he didn't connect with it. Even though he wasn't really watching for the most part, it's still, if somebody's getting beaten to death in front of your face, you're going to notice it. After that, I've been looking for something else to strike my attention. I know that I started Dr. Stone, but I don't want to mess up my son's episode count, so I'm going to wait until he gets through that before I take it up. I could watch Assassination Classroom. I've seen the first season, but it just doesn't hold my attention because I guess the kids are just so young that I just don't identify with any of them. I mean, who doesn't love Karma and Nagisa? I mean, they're great characters and everything, but they're just not. I don't know. I don't feel like I know them. But I've been watching. I watched Rurouni Kenshin on Crunchyroll, but that was only 6 episodes long. And it didn't conclude. So I'm either looking for a movie or I'm looking for the next season. I'm also looking for the next season of Tokyo Revengers. It was crazy. It just dropped me, and now I'm floundering around here. I need to know what's going to go on. I have been thinking for a while, if I got isekai'd, if I went back in time and got to relive my childhood, my teen years, what would I do differently? And I do. I believe I would do things a lot differently. I mean, I've grown. I've learned things. I know more of my preferences. I wouldn't be as anxious if I could go back, or maybe as depressed. I don't know. And I would realize that life has so much more to offer, So I would learn my passions. I would just put myself less in a little box. So that's my advice to you. Be adventurous, know yourself, and follow your passions, get some skills, because those will be invaluable in the time to come. And that's what I would want to go back. If I could go back, I would go back and learn skills. Only the internet was newer anyway. There was mostly like people's banking and not so much shopping. All the websites were very shallow, and we're starting to put a little flash on them. So even though I would have more time, I wouldn't have the same opportunities now, because now I study Japanese online. I watch Crunchyroll online. But if I went back to my high school years, there wasn't really a lot to do online. There was no Amazon at the time. There was no whatever app that you're thinking of that you love so much. It probably didn't exist. I mean, there was no YouTube. It didn't exist when I was in high school. So I don't know. I wouldn't be able to function in that world anymore. I'm so used to the technology that we have now, and I'm very thankful for it. I know it's a double-edged sword. I know that it tends to isolate people, but it also brings them together. I've been learning a lot about the importance of community lately, and I really, really love the anime community. I know it's got some toxic aspects to it, but, when I was a young nerd, you just kind of hid your nerdiness because most people didn't share that. And the people that did were not considered of high value. So you just kind of kept that to yourself. If you found somebody that was like, oh yeah, I watched that, then you would say, oh, me too. And, you might get into it. Actually, there was a guy at school who would do the special effects makeup and dress up like a Klingon. And I mean, he looked legit. But I wonder if that was more of his nerd flag or if that was more of his acting flag. Because he was in drama and everything. Very, very good looking guy. But we just ran in different circles. But he did an amazing Klingon. But that was about the most I saw of people, expressing their nerddom. But yeah, I think that people that like nerd or geek, memorabilia and stuff, they get really, really into it. I mean, I would love to go to a Star Trek convention. That would be awesome. Or have a, Lord of the Rings standee somewhere in my office. Probably Aragorn. He was my favorite character in that. But yeah. But now, yeah, everybody can join their Reddit group or Facebook online community, and they can have debates over who's the most powerful Bleach captain that ever walked the Sarate, and you can be into every single anime or just your one, like not World Heroes Mission. New My Hero Academia movies coming out, and everybody's excited for it. I know that, like I said, I'm looking for a new anime to watch. I've started a couple, but, I don't want to mess up my son's count, and I don't want to, I don't know. I watched Rurouni Kenshin. I'm watching something called After the Rain on Amazon, and it's got so much ick factor. It's gross. The age gap is beyond my... I mean, in Fruits Basket, there are a few age gap relationships, and, I give them the side eye, but the age gaps are not as stark, and I'm sorry, but the characters are so much more compelling. So, even if, I mean, come on, tell me you don't love Hattori, and you don't think that him and Honda would have been good, But Honda would have been great with anybody because she's just, a wonderful character. She's very loving and gentle and generous. So I think that she, it's a great show. But the age gaps, at least you got them. You're like, I can understand why you would be drawn to that character. In this one, I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see. There's a 45-year-old guy, a manager of the cafe, and the girl's a high school student, and she has a crush on him, and it's icky. I know it's not my culture, so I try and give it a pass, but I'm really hoping that they spin it and she gets over her crush and moves on to somebody more appropriate for her, because 45, that's pretty old. I would know. I'm close to that myself, but yeah, her significant other is going to start having health issues soon, and she's young in her prime. If they got married and had a kid, he'd be like 56 by the time the kid's 10. I mean, you're pushing it there. I mean, the guy already has a kid, so maybe he's not looking to have more, but most of the time the women would like to have their own child and raise it, from conception. I mean, it's not unheard of to adopt or, to have stepchildren and love them as your own, but there's just something about being a mother that's magical. And I would want that for her. But, it's not my culture, and I don't have a say in what the mangaka wrote, but it does give me the ick factor, and I don't know if I can continue watching it. I'm going to have to find something else. So, please give me your recommendations. I'm watching Amazon. I've got Crunchyroll. I am looking forward to the end of the month, the beginning of next month. I'm going to get Netflix because I'm very, very interested and hopeful, cautiously optimistic about the new One Piece live action. I know that they've put so much into this. I know that they're working really closely with the mangaka. I know that they've seen the failures of Cowboy Bebop and other live actions, and they're trying very hard to avoid those pitfalls. So even if it's not perfect, which, I mean, you can be a lot more fantastical in animation than you can in live action, but they're working to mesh the CGI with the just the film. So I think that they're going to do a decent job. I don't know if they're going to be able to hit all the points that they want to hit, but like I said, it's something that I'm cautiously optimistic for, and I'm looking forward to watching. I know that there are so many other wonderful animes on Netflix, and that will open my ability to watch more varied anime. So yeah, I'll be getting Netflix in September. But for now, I finished the short season of Rurouni Kenshin. I'm either looking for a movie or another season or something, because it has 6 episodes and then it dropped you. So I'm a little confused. But it was late, so I didn't have time to really search for another anime. I'm gonna have to find something a little longer. But I wanted to find something that's not going to keep my husband up while he's falling asleep, because he did not like the violence that Tokyo Revenger had. It was just, listening to someone get beat to death, it was a little disturbing for him. But, he wasn't really watching the context of the show anyway. But it was just a little more violent than I had led you to believe in the last episode of Anime Manga Mom. Anyway, so I'm looking for recommendations. I'm trying new things, and yeah, I'll be animating it up on Netflix in September. So give me your recommendations for there too. All right, and you enjoy your anime community, enjoy the internet that you have, and gain some skills. And come talk to me again next week. I look forward to seeing you. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.